Today is a good time with perfect conditions, and I will share the Buddhist worldview with you. First, let's explain what a world is. What is a world? In Chinese, the shi character in shì-jiè, world, represents time. As we know, there are three periods of time: the past, the present, and the future. Time is constantly flowing and moving. So, what is moving? It's not the wind nor the flags, but our minds that are moving. In the Treatise on the 100 Dharmas, time is explained as a phenomenon that is not concurrent with mind. So, what does the phenomenon that is not concurrent with mind mean? It's a virtual notion that describes the motion of objects. Time itself cannot be found. Our sense of time arises because our minds are constantly in motion, arising and ceasing moment by moment. The external material world is in motion. The mountains, rivers, and earth are in motion. Everything is in motion, including our minds. In fact, the external mountains, rivers, and earth are the image of our eighth consciousness, as well as a part of our mental activities. This teaching is profound. Let's first talk about our consciousness. The motion of our consciousness determines our perception of time, past, present, and future. The jiè character in shì-jiè, world, refers to realms. There are three realms: the desire realm, the form realm, and the formless realm. The lowest level of the desire realm is the human realm. Humans live on Earth in the solar system. Moreover, there are the so-called four dimensions: the up and down, and the 10 directions. Although we express it as 10 directions, actually there are more than 10. If you wish to divide further, there could be 100 or 1,000 directions. If roughly divided, it can be divided into the east and the southeast. In between the southeast, there are 90 degrees, and all these directions within these 90 degrees are called the southeast. If you wish to divide further, you can divide it into 100 or even 1,000 directions. So, jiè not only refers to directions, but also to the realm where sentient beings live. Humans live within the solar system, which is a level in the desire realm. The desire realm is divided into several levels, with boundaries between them. So, how are realms distinguished? They are determined by our minds. What your mind can perceive is your realm. Generally speaking, as humans, what we can perceive are primarily things on the earth, at most the sunlight from the sun. As for distant stars, we can only perceive a little starlight, but cannot reach there for now. Different beings live in different realms, each with different time and space. Therefore, Different beings live in different time and space. The mental activities of hungry ghosts are different from ours, so their perception of time is different from ours. After death, the perception of time for bardo beings becomes different from ours. This is because the speed of their mental activities is different from ours, so the world they perceive is different from ours. Moreover, the scopes of their 5 senses are also different from ours. For example, the scopes of the visual faculty of bardo beings are different from ours. Therefore, realms are connected to our 5 senses. The scope that you can perceive through your eyes, ears, and nose is called your world or your space. Therefore, we generally perceive space through our 5 senses and time through the speed of our mental activities. Therefore, time and space are both phenomena not concurrent with the mind. They are virtual notions, not real things. Let's talk about the 10 Dharma realms. Hell beings live in hell, which is one realm. Besides, there are the hungry ghost realm, animal realm, human realm, the desire realm, the form realm. When you practice meditation, your mind may suddenly switch to the form realm. Do you understand the notion of switching? When the mind reaches a certain level of concentration, it will naturally switch to the form realm. When your mind abides in the first dhyana state of the form realm for a long time, you will be able to see other beings in the first dhyana heavens. This is because the speed of your mental activities has changed. The higher the heaven, the slower the mental activities of beings, and thus time passes more quickly. This is because their minds move very slowly. What feels like 1 second to us may feel like 1 minute to them. Since their minds move very slowly, their lifespan is very long in terms of perception. The higher the heaven, the slower the mental activities of beings. In the form realm, minds are even slower and calmer. After your mind has switched to the time and space of the form realm, if you continue deeper into meditation from the first dhyana heavens, your mind will gradually switch to the second and third dhyana heavens, one by one. In our 8th consciousness, there are seeds of all the time and space throughout the 3 realms. We have lived in all these realms before. Hence, we can enter these realms through meditation. When we say being reborn in heaven after death, what we mean is that the mind switches to the heavens of the desire realm, such as the heaven of the 33 or the Yama heaven. If your mind is virtuous with slow pace and few desires, you will enter that world. This is how we constantly switch in the cycle of the 6 realms. If you have eradicated self-attachment through practice, you can switch to the state of the arhats, which is the liberation state of the Sravaka vehicle, free from self-attachment. That is another world which transcends the three realms. In the state of the Sravaka vehicle, there are still worlds because they haven't completely transcended time and space. Only the fully enlightened Buddha transcends time, space, and all worlds. For him, the present is eternal. Only the fully enlightened Buddha can reach this state. Arhats still have their world, time and space, but their time passes very slowly. Once they enter the cessation of perception and feeling, or nirvana, 10,000 great kalpas pass quickly. For them, a long period of time may feel as short as a moment, or even imperceptible. This is because their minds move slowly. Their moment is totally different from ours. Our moment might be 0.0001 seconds, while theirs could be 10,000 years. This is because time is relative. The faster the mind moves, the more difficult it is to pass time. The more suffering and afflictions beings experience, the faster their minds move, and the more slowly time passes because of suffering. So, the perception of time for hell beings is different from that of humans. 10 minutes in our perception may feel as long as 10 years for them. In hell, a day or even a minute feels like a year. For suffering beings, time seems very long because their mental activities are rapid and their suffering is immense. In the above, I've briefly explained time and space. In terms of enlightened beings, a bodhisattva's state is getting closer to a Buddha's state. Their realm becomes broader and broader, and their time passes more and more slowly. In the Buddha's state, how slow does time pass? The present moment is eternal, encompassing past, present, and future, all of which can be perceived in the here and now. The Buddha transcends time and space. Hence, the 10 Dharma realms are in his present mind. The Buddha's mind encompasses the 10 Dharma realms and the one true Dharma realm. He can transform the 10 Dharma realms into the one true Dharma realm in the here and now. He abides in the one true Dharma realm. You can take your time to ponder the meaning of the word world. Spiritual practice is actually quite simple. Gradually purify your mind, remove afflictions and attachments, and your mind will move more and more slowly. Attachment increases power. As you know, if you apply force to an object, it will accelerate. Otherwise, it won't accelerate. The more an ordinary being is attached, the faster his mind moves and the harder it is to stop. Consequently, he cannot stop creating karma because of the too great speed and force which we call inertia. Every time we create karma, we accelerate our minds, leading to higher inertia. We know that when an object is in motion, the faster it moves, the greater its inertia, and eventually it cannot stop. As the karmic force becomes increasingly stronger, one cannot stop creating karma. Spiritual practice is about gradually slowing down the mind. Not being attached means not accelerating the mind. Attachment is like applying force to the mind, making it speed up. It's like stepping on the accelerator to accelerate a car. Similarly, once your mind is attached, it will accelerate and suffer. This is because when the mind is attached, the pervasive suffering arises, which is caused by the inertia of motion. It is the suffering of no freedom. Here, I've generally explained what world means. It doesn't simply refer to the mountains, rivers, and land on earth that we usually talk about. Our usual concept of world is too narrow. Based on what I've explained about the world, different ordinary beings and enlightened beings have different worlds. How do we understand worlds? Through spiritual practice, we can gradually enhance our ability to understand worlds. The best way is to directly see them. Through practice, your mind can directly switch to the corresponding world and see it. That's the best way, so we should realize it. What is realization? Realization means your mind directly enters the corresponding time and space, or state. What we call a state is actually a world. From the perspective of the mind, it's called a state. From the perspective of time and space, it's called a world. What kind of karma we have determines what kind of world we see. Different beings live in different worlds.